Welcome to Rangers Radio on the Matchday show, the world's one and only unique live phone-in show for Rangers supporters all over the world. Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Hello, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Foxture, on the show this evening. So, Robert, evening, mate.
Evening, Ox. How we doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Bizarrely, I'm looking forward to this game. It's one of the bizarrest games I've known, mate, and I'll explain to you why, and then you can come in, and I know you've also got the team, mate.
Yep.
It's a sort of dead rubber for us, but it's ultimately could be massively important. It just shows you the complexity of European football, doesn't it?
Aye, it certainly does, mate. Obviously, we know that mathematically we're not going to go through into the next round, but when you look at the grand scale of things in terms of what's at stake, I know there's been a lot said this week about the coefficient points. That plays into account as well for tonight, but also that winning momentum, mate, just to keep carrying on. We don't want to stop the rut tonight.
Well, there is that, mate. There is that. Albert let me into a secret tonight. Since he's known, you know what he's doing with this lucky charm has, he's also not changed his underpants. So there you have it, mate. I believe you've got the team, mate.
I do indeed, mate. Tonight's team is Butland, who captains the side, Aarons, Giga, Fernandez, Magoma, Raskin, Diamonde, Asgard, Moore, Gisama, and Chermiti. The substitutes are Kelly, Wright, Tavernier, Rothwell, Curtis, Antman, Miovski, Danilo, Adamson, Stewart, and Gentles.
I'll just go through the first team for GB. That's Butland for Canada, Aarons for Australia, De Giga for Ireland, Fernandez for Hungary, Magoma, who's from Thailand, I believe. Raskin is Japanese. Diamonde is South African. Asgard is Argentinian. Moore's Brazilian. Gasimers for Mongolia. And Chermiti's for New Zealand. Okay?
Listen, if Asgard was Argentinian, we might have a better player in our hands.
That's just for GB, mate, right? Listen, I think between us, we sort of got the team last night. GB did predict that Aarons would come in for Tav, yeah? You got that right? Yep. The rest of the team, I think, pretty much picked itself. GB planked for Majowski, and we talked about it, and we sort of ended up with Chermiti. So, listen, mate, it's close to our first 11, if we're all being honest, mate. So the club are seeing it in a different void. Well, it's not our strongest bench, mate, but let's go out and hopefully put a performance on, mate.
Aye, 100%, mate. We know the players who are available for this game. Again, as you said, it's close to the starting 11, as you'd like, from the pool of players that's eligible for Europe. So it did really pick itself. But again, it's just going out tonight, putting a performance in that's worthy of getting a result. Might not be pretty at times. It's not the greatest of nights for football. So as long as we can get the win, and that's what we've been doing, although performances have still been, let's be honest, under par from our standards and expectations. We're grinding out results and wins.
Would
and if we
you
do that
say
tonight, mate, it's good.
Would you say the performances are under par in the last 3.5 games, mate?
I think they're improving. I think you can see the improvements that are coming along nicely.
I never asked you that.
From where we were,
would
no,
you say
not
the
under par.
performances were under par in the last 3.5 games?
I still say are slightly under what we'd expect at a stage of the season.
Wow,
I'm
mate,
going to be a bit critical.
Wow. Go and have a look at the results in 9 in a row and the performances, mate. You might not be able to see the middle of December to the middle of January, mate, and you might be surprised.
No, but as you always say, mate, it's points over result, performance, and that's what we've been getting. So, as I say, it might not be pretty, but if we get the win, that's all that matters. And
I'll change the question to you, brother. Would you say the performances improved since October?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Aye.
There's a togetherness with the squad now, you can see that. It
Yeah.
is improving, and the additions will help, obviously, domestically. I think they'll help.
Well, we'll get two of them and can play at the weekend, yeah.
Mhm.
So if they come into the team, mate, we've got competition for places amongst the first team. We're hearing that Stirling and Big Suter will be back Monday, so there's positives in there. So there's 4 players. Cornelius could be fit, yeah. All of a
Yep.
sudden you've got 5, yeah. And then the new left back becomes available, if what we're told is correct, quite soon, and whoever else we bring in, mate. So things are moving, and obviously you've got to do it on the grass, mate, and the nights about that. Have we any fear for this team, mate?
No, I wouldn't say so, Ox. I had a look at them earlier on this afternoon. They've only won 1 of the last 5 European outings, but they are unbeaten in their last 8. But one factor that stood out for me is they've not played since the 19th of December. They have their break, so I don't know how much that will impact their fitness levels in the game itself. But I don't think we've got any fear, mate, given the way we have been getting results. As I say, the performances are improving. The squad's gelling a lot better. You can see link-up plays, hold-up plays, defence has been stronger. So put all that into play tonight, mate. We'll come away with a result that we can be proud of, and hopefully it's the 3 points. Get the first European one as well.
Are you sure you were reading their form guide and no Fox's diary? Because that's the exact same. He's not played since the 19th of December neither.
Aye, believe it or not, mate. 19th of December was our last competitive fixture.
Because he's shut down, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, obviously middle of Europe can get bad snow and all that, but it doesn't bode well for the integrity of the competition, doesn't it? No, it's complex now, eh?
Aye, it does, but at the same time, I don't know if I would rather keep playing. I think if we had a break at this moment with the wins we're getting, we'd be frustrated and annoyed by it. So I think when you're playing well, you want to keep playing games, which obviously they were doing previously before the break. But I think as well, they've got, I think, a win tonight if they'd get it, or 1 win from their next 2 games in Europe would be enough for them to qualify into the kind of playoff round. So they'll want to go for us as well. And it's about us just sticking to our game plan, being solid at the back, and clinical in the final third when it matters.
I think that's some of the frustration about the European this season, because obviously with the Roma game that we never thought we would win, yeah. But
Yep.
you've also had the some of the games that we know we should have won, mate. We just didn't perform, yeah.
The damage was done at the start of the season before Daniel came in. It was a mountain for him to climb and get back into a contention to go into the next phase. But we use it as a platform tonight to just keep momentum going, keep players playing, taking over. And we know what's at stake in terms of this season. Europe's pretty much almost done, but there's a grand scale of the ones that look at the coefficient points as well to try and ensure that automatic spot should we win the league that we're right into the Champions League. So long term of European football seems to be a bigger objective at the moment than the short term.
Yes. But listen, but that's the frustration. I feel like, mate, when you look back, there's games with terrible goals, terrible performances, lack of discipline, particularly through young Diamondi, mate. Yeah, but he's come on to a game and on form in the last 3.5 games, maybe deserved a place in the team. Before that, Robert, did he deserve a place in the team because his form was poor?
It was, and it wasn't the only one. I think the Old Firm game in particular stands out that it changed it for him a wee bit. I know he'd played a wee bit better before that game, but that game in particular stands out as one that he seemed to make a difference, particularly in the second half, coming on at half time. So from there, he's looked of not quite the Diomande of old that we know he can produce, but you can see the chemistry him and Racing's got playing together, which I think's vital at the moment, given that Barron's out injured. So listen, every single one of the players needs to step up as well. We know that the transfer window's open. They've been doing it now domestically. They've got the 6 wins in a row. Let's go for 7 tonight. Keep that feel-good factor going. And again, it just keeps that momentum going, keeps the squad happy, and then you focus on the weekend after tonight.
Aye. All systems go by Ibrox. Listen, people joining us all the time, mate. Can you shout the team up?
Yep. Butland, Aarons, Giga, Fernandez, Magoma, Raskin, Diamondi, Asgard, Moore, Gisama and Chermiti. Substitutes are Kelly, Wright, Tavernier, Rothwell, Curtis, Antman, Miofsky, Danilo, Adamson, Stewart and Gentles.
Okay, so obviously when you look at the bench, there's names on there we don't know. You'll get first teamers, well, the two goalies, obviously Kelly will be the most experienced. Then you've got Tav, Rothwell, Curtis, Antman, Miofsky, Danilo, who are all part of the first team squad. And young Gentles just come back, mate. And at times, I was championing him because I don't think he looked any worse in pre-season. Big Chermiti did. But Chermiti's come on to again, mate. And he will, if he plays like he has played, he will cause teams problems. 6'4", bustly, yeah. And he's proved he can score a goal now, mate.
Aye, he's certainly a guy that's turned things around of late. He came under a lot of pressure and a lot of criticism, and arguably rightly so, given I know the price tag is a hefty weight on his shoulders, but as a number 9 at Rangers, you want them to be scoring goals, contributing, and it wasn't there. And we all thought we would never see it. So credit to Chermiti, credit to coaching staff that he's turned it around. He is a physical threat in both boxes. Defensively, he's good in the air, but I think his hold-up play over recent weeks, Ox, has been good. Even if he's not scoring, he's holding up the ball, bringing players into play, and he looks fitter as well. He's starting to get out around the pitch a bit more. So hopefully, again, he can do it well tonight. And Miofsky will be full of confidence as well. Scoring a hat-trick. I know you can look at the opposition, but any striker getting a hat-trick at any level against any team would breed confidence. So there is players on the bench that we could use if and when required. And again, the young boys are getting the experience. I've been on the bench a European night at Ibrox, just given how short we are with this pool of players we've got available.
Aye. We're light in certain areas, particularly midfield, and obviously we're brought in big Chukwueze, so we've started replacing and refreshing there. And if you bring him into the fold and the fit Connor Barron, he looks a bit stronger in there, but we'll know you couldn't get through a season with the numbers we've got. Yeah, obviously injuries always play a part. Listen, mate, we better get the phone lines open, yes?
Yes, let's hear from the Bears.
Let's hear from these.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Robert, would you like to hear from the manager?
Absolutely.
Let's hear from the one and only Danny Rowe.
Danny, Europa League action for the squad this evening. How much is that about continuing this winning run and continue that winning mentality amongst the group?
Yeah, we want to keep going like we did in the last couple of weeks. I think there's a good feeling when you have wins, and I think that's the reason why we want to win this game today as well. I think we want to show at home in front of our fans that we can win games in Europe. And for this, we have a strong group on the pitch. And we want to win, we want to show, because it's the most important thing in football, winning games, continue a good run and create more and more confidence.
Yeah, just talk to us about your selections on the pitch this evening. Obviously 7 changes from that cup game and obviously a few young players on the bench as well.
Yeah, I think general we picked a very strong team. I think this is nearly the best 11, maybe 2-3 positions are where we go with a strong side as well. Some players deserve to get this minutes today, but all in all it's about how we can win this game. Then of course with some injuries we took all the players that are available today. That's the reason why we have also some young players on the bench. Maybe there's a good opportunity for them to come in, and then it's about perform on the right moment. I think general, when you look on the paper you see a team like Rangers, they are big name, and you think about, maybe this is a smaller team, but in this competition all the teams can take points, can win, and for us it's about make the next step in Europe, and this is for me about win this game today.
And just on the challenge of Ludogorets, of course will come back off the back of a winter break, a team that shows a lot of attacking prowess as well. What are you expecting from them?
Yeah, they like to play football. They are good organized. After winter break, you never know really where they are. I think that maybe not the rhythm we are on the rhythm. I think this is the good part. I expect a good game from both sides. Both teams will try to take something and to do something on the pitch, and this shows that it could be a exciting game. Most important is for me that our performance is right today, that we go in the right direction, that we continue our run and perform like we want.
Yeah, just lastly, you mentioned the run there, an opportunity for 7 wins in a row. How big would that be momentum-wise, especially before returning to league action on Sunday?
Yeah, it would be amazing. Yeah, every win is helpful, but it's not just about the win. I want to also to see the next step forward in the pressing, in the building up, in the relationship. I think we carry on with more and more players. They play again and again. I think this is a good part. And then, of course, it's now also competition in the squad. We have more players available, and it's a good opportunity for my players today to show that they are ready, not just for this game, also for the Sunday game.
Yeah, thanks for that, Mr. Fox. Listen, he's saying a lot of the stuff that we're saying, and he's admitted he's picked a strong team. So he's, all the talk about weakened teams, should we take it seriously? I think he's answered the question, Robert.
He has, and he's answered it with the things we've said as well, was keep the momentum going. We know the state we're in with European football. We know that. We realise that. And we realised that early on in the season. But he wants to keep the momentum going. He doesn't want it to stop here, because then he's got to lift the players and they've got to react to a defeat if that was to be the case, or a draw. So he wants to keep that momentum going, because he can see that it builds over time and it gives you good confidence into the next game. And that's about what it is. This game, as soon as it's finished, it's the next game. And they're coming thick and fast. Again, as we know, in this kind of calendar month between December and January. So, he's picked the squad that he thinks is going to go out and get us a win and get us a result that we can be proud of. And listen, as I said, it's not going to be a great night for football. It's wet, it's windy. Just get the job done and get the 3 points.
Aye, listen, mate, the weather's pretty much what it should be like in January. If we're being honest, it's always a factor, the surface, etc. And the wind can affect goalkeepers, sometimes cross-balls, etc. But you've got to go out and play. Our team, from where we were, the attitude seems to improve remarkably, Robert. You mentioned, was it teamwork or togetherness? I can't remember the exact kind of phrase, but I think we've seen that. I think we've seen that away at Aberdeen. We've seen that the second half at their place. And it's time to take that in, win the game, hopefully, and spring forward with confidence for Sunday, mate.
Absolutely, mate. Togetherness was the word I said, and I think you can see that as well. And there's a real sense of belief now in the players as well, that they can go on the pitch and trust each other in their performances and their play and get goals in the game. You just see it building. As I said, I think there's still a long way to go in terms of a level of performance that we can all be happy with. But the end result is you're winning games, breeds confidence into players. And as I said, it's just momentum building. Just keep rolling as we do, game by game. And hopefully, as you say, come away with 3 points. Focus shifts back to the league, and then it's back to European competition for the final time this season on Thursday. So he's saying the right words. It's what we want to hear. We're not thinking this is a dead rubber because we know what's at stake in terms of other aspects of it. But ultimately, momentum is a massive factor that you've got to take into consideration, and that's exactly the route he's going down.
When you say about the level of performance, what are you looking for? Because if I'm honest, mate, I get the results, and if you think the sector performances in difficult conditions with the wind being strong, we controlled Aberdeen. We know they're not the best Aberdeen side. The league table doesn't lie. But even when they have been even worse than that in the past, we've had harder games than that up there. And the second half up there, mate, I thought that it was a real professional performance.
I think I'm just looking for consistency from all the players that are on the park at the same time, and just kind of a full 90-minute performance. We've questioned Asgard's consistency. We've questioned Gassama's consistency. I think if they bring it to the table, you can see that rather than having spells or moments in games, they do it for almost a full complete game, and I think that's just that wee bit extra we want, mate.
You spent too much time in that Football Manager, mate. Does that happen in reality?
Listen, I don't want to get my Football Manager CV out. I'd end up at Rangers myself if I'd done that.
Yeah, I know, but that's because it's played online, mate. It's not played in real life. There's a lot of people live their life like that, mate. It ain't
Yeah.
real. Yeah,
No, I
but, you know, but look, I don't care if Gassama doesn't kick a ball if we win. Yeah, I'll critique his performance. I didn't think he was great up at Aberdeen, but I think collectively other people stepped up, and Asgard was one of them, mate. He surprised me that day.
again, he's a player that's showed glimpses. When we seen the goal against Dundee United, Ibrox, and we wanted more of it. And then he kind of just petered out, didn't kick on from there. But he's contributed the last few games, goals and assists, and it's just about that consistency in his game. We spoke about it on Monday night of where does he fit into the squad, especially with the new players coming in and whoever else comes in between now and the end of the window. Where does he fit in terms of what's his best position? We've seen him as a 10, we've seen him as a centre mid, we've seen him as a left winger. It's hard to kind of figure out where he would fit in at the moment, but again, if they just put in that wee bit of extra effort and determination in the performances to say, I'm going to make the jersey mine, come and take it off, mate, I think that's what I'm looking to see, mate. Just a wee bit more grit. I'm being harsh, I know, but
Are you
there's
saying
always
if you're
room for
not having a good
improvement.
game, even if you're not having a good game, you're going to put the effort in? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
All right, that's fair, mate, because I think that's a basic. That's a basic, mate. And we've had players at times this season who, when you watched them, you felt as if they're not having a good game, but there's also been apparent lack of effort, and that's where the criticism comes. I get that, mate. And we've all watched that this season, but we seem to have picked up maybe since the manager's come in. Yeah, there's been some disappointing performances under Danny, but where we were and where we are, it's a massive leap forward, Robert.
Aye, the results show you that. The goals conceded and the goals scored show you that. I know at times we've watched games and felt we could and should have scored more because we've thought the merit of play deserved it in some games, particularly the Aberdeen games as we've touched on. But there has been changes, there has been improvements, and we're still remarkably surprised that we're even in the position we're in, and given that it's a short turnaround. So there has been improvements defensively, clearly. There's still wee errors that we can highlight and pick out that they'll need to kind of Danny Rose wants to touch up and finalise. But from where we were, mate, it is night and day. You can't argue with that. It is night and day. So credit has to go to the players themselves as well as the coaching staff, because to pick up the squad that he came into in October to get them in this position is remarkable. But as is the players' attitude and application in these games as well. As you said, Aberdeen away, tricky conditions. Game across the city, half time, massive turnaround second half. That's attitude and that's application right there.
Aye. Listen, mate, there's nothing wrong with critiquing the individual performances. You know, the team can have a good game and you feel as if one individual's maybe not a good game. That's football,
Aye, it is, and as you say, I know one player doesn't make a team. If 10 out of your 11 players play well and you win the game, brilliant, that's what we all want. But we will still highlight that one player didn't do enough, he kind of fell out the game. And that's just an observation you make, but at the end of the day, we're winning games and we can't complain too much.
Mr. Fox's predictable start is we're going to set up a 4-2-3-1. I tend to agree. Your thoughts?
Aye, I think to me it's a 4-2-3-1, Asgard on the 10.
Yeah, and he's also predicting that they'll line up a 4-3-3, mate, because they're an attacking side, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a formation they've used quite frequently. I have seen them use the 4-2-3-1 and the 4-3-3 in Europe this season, and they've had some high-scoring games within that as well. I think one of their danger men, who's got 6 goals in the Europa League campaign for them, is the boy Stanic. I think he plays kind of left of the midfield, so he'll be a kind of runner from midfield that we'll need to keep an eye on. But again, we go with the team that Danny Rose picked, and we have faith and belief in the manager that we'll get a result. He's done everything right so far, so who are we to doubt that it's not going to be the case again tonight, mate?
Aye. Who do you see being our main players, mate?
I think you always look at the final third. You always look at your attackers. But I'm going to go for Raskin and Diamonde in the midfield, that engine room, to recover the ball, get the ball moving forward, and tidy up things defensively. So I'm going to look at the midfield as a key area tonight, Raskin and Diamonde.
Aye, I get that, mate. I think if they play well, we win. Yeah, because that means that they'll be supplying. Hopefully, we're winning the ball and we're supplying the forward players. And if they're playing well, we also keep it away from defenders, if that makes sense, yeah?
Aye, I'd like to think so, mate. As I said, just the way they've got a chemistry together, they seem to play well together as well. So if the ball is moving forward, that then becomes your target men are looking to be involved in the game, are Gassama and Moore to get the ball to Chamita, as well as Asgard as well, to contribute going forward. But defensively, I think that's two key players I think are going to be crucial off the ball as well as on the ball.
Aye, and as you said, we talked about Diamande. Raskin's come on to a wee bit of a game. It's similar to this time last season, wasn't it? This was when he had that burst of form, wasn't it?
Aye, under Barry, aye. He certainly kicked on.
You know?
I think one thing I think he's got over the whole rift between him and Russell Martin. I know that kind of played on him for a while. He was asked about it numerous times in interviews and things, and he wanted to move on from it. But I think you could see that it was still kind of in his mindset that had happened. But again, because you've been winning games, Ox, you know yourself, wins breed confidence, and it's no difference to any player at any level. So, am I playing well? Everybody's a feel good factor. Things are going well for you. You start to stand out. And Raskin, he'll have individual goals. There's a World Cup coming up he want to be part of, but first and foremost, he wants to do well at us. And if he does that, we can see what he brings defensively and going forward. He can get into the final third and give us goals, but also danger moments to give defences something to worry about. So certainly a player that has improved the past few weeks as well. I think they all have, to be honest, Ox.
Aye, I think you're right, mate. I'm no one for letting riffs go. I've still got a riff with Russell Martin, Scott Wright, and Aaron Ramsey. I'm not letting them go, mate.
No, I didn't expect you would, although you need to take that Scott Wright poster down now.
What's that, mate?
So you need to take down that Scott Wright poster and stick an Asgard one up.
No, I'm not letting them go, mate. But aye, you have to move on for them sometimes. And Nico, you know, it was a bizarre start this season, mate. See, when you look back, it was mental, mate. Mental. You know, we could all see it unfolding. But we got a bit of stability. What's your take on the manager, mate? I think he doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. For his second language, I think he does really, really well with the press.
He's brilliant, Ox. The way he approaches the questions, and I mean, if you watch his interviews, he did say last week he's not got a good poker face, and I think you've seen that in this week's interview, the smiles and talking about transfers and things like that. But you can see that he believes in this squad, and that's going across to the players as well. I think his man management of players and how he's managed players' injury timeline returns, minutes on the park, just the way he seems very approachable. I think he's quite clear in his understanding and what he wants from the team. So I'm impressed with him. Again, he didn't come with this great history of man management or managerial credibility, but where he had been, he'd been a really good coach at German national level, Leipzig. So he had some pedigree within him, and I think we can actually see now he's got something about him. He's won a lot of fans over who were on the fence or unsure of him, and we'll see where it takes us in the future, of course. But from there to now, he's not done a single thing wrong. You could pick out some moments and times where maybe didn't agree with some things, but over the piece, mate, he's got his back in a title race. He's got his believing again. That takes a lot for a manager to do within a few weeks, few months.
He's even cheered GB up.
Well, I'm not sure if we could tell GB the difference between Albania and whatever country it was they had last night in his head, but he might do that. Algeria, that was the one. So if he's cheered GB up, that's doing well.
I was actually quite proud of GB because they both started with L.
That was about it. That's as close as they got. Everything else was a miss.
Top man. Very happy returns, Mr. GB.
Yes, I hope you get that map okay, mate, you sent him.
Did you like it?
I did, mate, I did. I think that tops my YMCA calendar from the village people. You got me.
That was a Christmas gift, mate. That was a Christmas gift, you know.
Aye,
Aye.
but GB seems more personal. I like that. I like personal touch. Very
Yeah.
thoughtful of you.
I was struggling with where to get him.
Did last night confirm it for you?
Yes. What's your take on how it's going to go tonight, mate?
Surprisingly, I think it'll be quite an end-to-end game. I think both teams will go for it. I think we'll want to keep momentum going. And as I said, Ludogorets mathematically are looking for a win out of these last two games to secure a place. So I think they'll sense there's an opportunity here to get a result that will help them with that. But I think we've got that belief and confidence just now that we can go and get a victory. And it'll be about who takes their chances when they come. Again, you mention it every week now. Set plays could be very interesting tonight, especially we've got Fernandez, Chermite, Raskin's good with his head in the air at corners. So there's a lot of players there that could do some damage from us in an attacking sense at set plays as well as defensively just being solid again, mate. But I think it'll just come down to who takes their chances when they come. But hopefully, obviously, we get the result.
Yeah, Big Fernandez, you have these players come along, sort of cult players. You know, I see it, mate. I see it. You know, I know he's raw. He's a wee bit of the jitters at times, but you know, he scored 5 goals, and let's be honest, he should have had 6, mate.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Listen, I asked a question a few weeks ago about any centre backs that have scored 10 or more goals in a single season from centre half. This boy could go on to hit that number. As you say, should have 6. He's got 5. He is a threat. We can see that. And teams are struggling to even defend it. We know it's coming. Teams know it's coming, but it's trying to defend it. He's got a good leap on him with the height he's got. So certainly a threat going forward. And I think tonight could actually be a game where you might see him in terms of how much he's grew these past few games and this run of games he's had because
He
Giga's
can't
come
grow.
back into
He
his side.
can't grow much more, but the same height as you.
A while to go yet, mate. A while to go yet. But what I mean is, Giga's coming back in the side tonight. I know a lot of people don't rate him much, and he is a bag of nerves at time. But I think you'll maybe see Fernandez being the vocal leader of that centre back pairing tonight, and you might see how much he's matured and grew in personality, we'll say, over the past few weeks and games.
Aye. Yeah, I think the cult hero thing that some players get, I think Fernandez could get that. He also seems a bit of a character as well. You know, look, I would argue it's not my first choice pairing at the moment, but with Fernandez being my first choice at the moment, is that fair?
Aye, I would say so, yep.
All right, so wish him the best. And obviously, I want the GK to do well. He's playing for us, mate. He's no long before he's left us. And do you see that people try to say they put out a scoop about Dow leaving the club this morning, mate? Where were they?
I know, they weren't listening to us last night, that's for sure. Exclusives here on Rangers Radio.
Aye. Did they say it was in the... I've not listened on. I get sent a message, somebody saying that they said it was hot off the press. They were 12 hours behind us, mate.
Yep, they put it as breaking news exclusive. That was the words they used.
What was it?
But that's stealing our thunder, giving us no credit, but that's okay. They don't know what's coming next.
No.
Listen, we do, but we do.
Yeah.
We might just see. What's this space, as you keep saying, mate?
Yes. So, listen, I'll be real honest with you. I think it's a year too late with Kieran, maybe for his career as well. You know, so 8 league games he started for us in 3 years, mate. I know he was away in Birmingham for a while, but that we were only talking about our club. It's just a bad signing. Don't wish him any harm, but it's not a career I'll follow.
No, it's just again one of the ones, mate. The time is up a long time ago, and we've managed to get him off the books today. So just another transfer that never worked out. It wasn't a good fit, but as you say, 8 starts in those years. It's not a return for value for money. You paid for in the wages, so we kind of have players like that hanging around the club. So it's good to see we're starting to get the deadwood, as we say, out the door. And he'll certainly not be the last. Certainly the next 7 to 10 days will be interesting to see who leaves as well as who comes in.
Aye, without a doubt, mate. Without a doubt. You still feeling positive in the transfer window? You still think? I know you maybe study other teams more than I do, mate, because I'm blinkered. But are you happy with what's happening? Are you happy with the links, etc.?
I am, mate. First and foremost, I'm happy with the 3 we've got in. I think they've identified key areas that we've spoke about numerous times in this show that we need reinforcements, we need better quality. And it's areas of the park that we've certainly the right wing position that we've not really knuckled down somebody since the likes of Daniel Candias. So credit to the team for recognising that, the recruitment team, Danny Rule, Kavanagh, etc. The ones that are still being mentioned, obviously, as we always say, mate, speculation until they're confirmed by the club and the scarf's above the head. But the names that some of them are mentioned interest me in terms of what they can bring and what they can do going forward. So I like the route we're going down here. Not giving too much away, but I like the route we're going down here.
Aye, listen, mate. You bring the players in, they've got to settle, they've got to get in the team, they've got to gel, they've got to be comfortable, and they've got to stay clear of injury, So all these things are factored into whether you're a success or not, and you need that magic ingredient, mate. Luck.
100% with every transfer.
Aye.
It doesn't matter if it's a loan or a permanent signing. Guy could walk in the door and have a first training session, and we've known it in the past to happen. Players come in ready to go, pick up a knock. You don't see them. I'm still waiting for Jordan Rossiter. He's 7 to 10 days, and John Eustace was 10 days. Do you know what I mean? So that's how it can play out. Some players you just don't see, but there seems to be a lot of homework done by, as I say, Danny Rule and the recruitment staff and Kavanagh to get the right players in. I think the summer showed us that there was mistakes, and we were trying to rectify that. We're in a stronger position now to approach these players and watch it place, and coming into a team that's winning, challenging for a league title again is certainly a lot better than what it would have been in October to say where we were. So I like what's been said and what's been rumoured so far, mate. And we'll see what happens.
Aye, we will, mate. We will watch this space, and as you said, you use the word deadwood because it's not we're not being disrespectful to our own players, mate, but we're talking about 8 league games started in 3 years, with decent salaries, mate. It's harmed us. And obviously every club's got them, mate, but we seem to have our fair share.
We do. And that goes back to previous regimes giving long-term contracts for players that didn't merit it or didn't make sense. So, as you always say, it's hard to find suitors for these players who are on these long-term contracts on good money to somebody to come and take them off their hands. But there will be other players that will run their contracts down, but it's just about us to try and put them in the window as much as possible and hopefully get them off the books. And again, as you say, it's not disrespectful that they're deadwood. It's just times have changed, times have moved from where we were when they came in the door to where we are now. Where there's bigger aims, there's bigger objectives, and they just don't have the quality to cut it, unfortunately.
Aye. He's away to Hull, yeah.
Mhm.
Did you
Yep.
see the red card on Lundstrom? Just change the subject.
I did, and I believe that player's not long back as well from a ban. So he's
8
facing
game
another.
ban.
Yep, he got one for biting somebody, I think, beforehand as well, and then one for racism. So I don't think it'll be long before his career's actually over. It'd be the right thing to do, in my opinion.
Aye, it was a mental situation. Right, mate. Look, people maybe come in late, mate, maybe shout out the team, and then I want your prediction for the night, mate. Score and scorers for your good self, Robert.
Certainly, mate. Tonight's team is Butland, Aarons, Giga, Fernandez, Goma, Raskin, Diamondi, Gassama, Asgard, Moore, and Chamiti. Substitutes are Kelly, Wright, Tavernier, Adamson, Rothwell, Miovski, Danilo, Curtis, Gentles, Stewart, and Antman. And I will go for 2-1 Rangers. And I'm going to go for Fernandez and Raskin.
I know you pride yourself in your predictions, mate. Listen, I would like us to win both halves, mate. I like that. Yeah, I'll always say that, mate. I think that's a good result of football. You win both halves, yeah. You know, I'll be really comfortable with that. I think there could be goals in this game, mate, because I think they're an attacking outfit, yeah.
I tend to agree, mate. They are attacking. As I said, they've had some kind of high scores in the Europa League, but I'm just wondering how much of a factor it'll play in that they've had that winter break. They're coming in without any games beforehand. Does that benefit them? Does that benefit us? I guess we'll wait and see when kickoff comes.
Yeah. Well, it could be an entertaining game. As you say, if you've got attacking teams in a slidey pitch, mate, mistakes, it's harder to defend, isn't it? And you've just got to concentrate more with defending and be careful in your supply going forward when the parts skiddy like this.
Absolutely, and I think the fact we played Aberdeen not long ago in similar conditions, and we played some nice football at times as well. We weren't doing a lot of high balls because of the wind. We had the ball on the deck doing short passes. That's kind of what I want to see again tonight. Just even if it's being patient with the ball, just taking the time to find gaps, exploit the lines, get in behind, and when the chance comes, just put it away. Hopefully, and again, as we say, just give us a win, keep that momentum going.
Aye, mate. Nothing would please me better if we get the 7 W's, mate. But this is going to be the next 6 weeks, mate. Yeah, it's going to be exciting, mate. It's going to be exciting, and hopefully in 6 weeks' time, we're all buzzing, mate. Yeah, and it starts tonight.
Yep, as I said, there's a lot of people look at tonight's game and say, well, it's a European game, it doesn't really matter, but there's a longer term aim here of keep momentum going, focus on the league after the European campaign comes to a close, and as you say, the more W's we put on the board, more confidence. These run of games we face opponents that are capable of beating any team in the league. As we keep beating them, then we're in a right good place. And not to mention as well, additions that could come in as well. So certainly a real good place to be at Ibrox just now. Long may it continue. Hopefully that's right up to the end of the season and it's a successful one. But first of all, go out tonight, put on a performance worthy of a win.
Aye, they're going to come thick and fast after this, mate, yeah?
Aye, they certainly are, mate. I think you look at the fixtures and it's hard not taking a look at the points that are available for us to go and get. And I think they're in our hands to lose, if that makes sense, Ox, because of where we're at and mentality-wise and everything else is there to be won. So you look at the fixtures right up until, as you say, in about 6 weeks. Hearts at Tynecastle, Ibrox. Game at Ibrox on the 1st of March, but the other games amongst that, you'd expect at the moment in time to be having the wins on the board. We know every game's not won before a ball's kicked, but it's just that feel-good factor. You feel a lot more confident that results are on the way.
Aye. Well, good run now, mate. Really could be a marvellous season, but you've got to do it on the pitch, mate. Talk's cheap. What we've done up to now doesn't matter because it's gone forward now. Tonight's a big game, potentially for the club. It might mean nothing, but potentially it could be a big game. So we're looking for a performance, we're looking for a result. And last word for your good self, Robert.
Cheers for having me for the pre-show, mate. Good to be on yourself. Looking forward to the game. As I said, I think it'll be an end-to-end game. We'll want to keep momentum going. They'll want to try and get the win to secure their place in the next round. So hoping to see two teams go at it. And at the end of it, we are celebrating a Rangers victory.
Listen, mate, thanks for doing the show. Thanks to Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back 15 minutes after the final whistle, celebrating the Rangers victory. Take it away, Old School Blue.
When I RangersRFC. Na 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 na.